5.
Yep.
And that's what it says. Okay, well, welcome to, what is this section? Business 341, section
320.
5. It's lesson 4 case study. And I hope I'm getting the right case study. It's about the wilderness survival, if that's correct.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
My name is Jason Johnson, and it was delegated last week that I get to lead this one out. In attendance, there's Tina, Jesse, and Cody, and myself. Any volunteers for opening prayer? Or?
Sure, I'll do it.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
All right, go ahead.
Our dear Heavenly Father, we are thankful to be able to meet as a group tonight. Grateful for the opportunity to be able to further our learning and our abilities to comprehend and understand the things that we are trying to be taught in this class. We ask that would bless us, that the Holy Ghost will be with us as we talk and discuss the agenda for this evening, and allow us that we'll be able to go away with a good understanding. We thank Thee for all that Thou hast done for us, and we do it in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
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 So the quick synopsis of the scenario, I hope I can give it clearly, and hopefully we can move through it. Sorry, it's just opening up. I thought I had it all opened up. So in short, we're on an adventure with 5 of us. There was an accident, and we're 5 days away from help one way and from being sought after for help. And the nearest town is 60 miles one way, or hospitals further the next way. There's items that we have. Let's see, there's one person's got a broken leg, if I remember right. And we got a list of commodities that we've put together. Amongst those are a fanny pack of food, a map of the area, 6 personal flotation devices, 2 broken fishing poles, a set of clothes for 3 that are wet, a yellow frisbee, water purification tablets, duct tape, whiskey, insect repellent matches, and parachute cord and compass. 6 sleeping bags that are synthetic. I am lost as far as the rest of the information about this case.
Did you find the group leaders part of it on the instruction page?
Now, there was in this... Okay, I'm going to flip over to this. Let me share my screen with this one really quick, and it might help us just a little bit. Let's see, share my screen. So there's this.
Oh, it didn't have it this time.
Hold on, I had this all filled out once.
So I believe we're supposed to go over What are the most significant issues facing our group? What
Okay.
are the first actions must be taken? And then what are the key items needed? And I think we're supposed to go over each of the items and vote on it as a group. Or not vote, but we're supposed to come to a consensus as a group of
Right.
what are the items listed as, or like what we feel as a group are the most important ones. And
Now, there was a few, now in reading this though, I read it through and I missed a couple things, and I was going to share it first before we went through this,
okay.
but now I can't see where it gave all the information about it.
Okay, there's that.
Does anybody have it? The whole case?
Yeah, I've got it.
Where says the wilderness or survival scenario below.
Oh, okay. Here we go. I got it. Let me read. There's a couple things in here. It rains. It's mid-May, 25 to 70 degrees. Your group was in 2 canoes going down the river. We fell out of the canoes. One person suffered a broken leg. The other's cuts and bruises. Both canoes are severely damaged. Both bent in half. One with an open tear. The other 2 tears of 12 and 15 inches. Both have broken galloways. You lost the packs in the tent, most clothing, nearly food and clothes. You're scheduled back 4 days from now, so it's unlikely a search party will be sent out for at least 5 days that have passed. It's just started drizzling, and we need to figure out what to do, how to survive, and until we get help. My first consensus with this is to stay as a group, because then we can stay alive as a group. But after reading, what?
I said I would agree with that.
Well, that's wrong.
I agree with Jason there, but when I first read this and looked it over, my first thought was also too was, well, you want to stay together, you work together, you want to get out of there together. And you're right. I mean, after reading this, it's like, boy, all my ideas and everything that I had was shot down the drain, because that's not the way that I initially thought of it.
So my first idea was, well, I'm ditching the canoes because they're damaged anyways.
Right.
They're broken. I'm not going to go down a canoe with carrying somebody and carry canoes and carry a broken leg.
Right.
So
We're ranking on the wilderness survival activity. The ranking sheet doesn't even have the canoes on it.
yeah, so I didn't think we could really take those with us anywhere. So my own personal thought had nothing to do with those stupid canoes. But the experts, so I don't know if you can see this screen or what screen are we doing my sheet. Okay, so which of this?
I mean, you could probably, even though they're broke, probably put them up to use some kind of shelter.
Okay, so what is the most important thing that we need to do? We need to take. We need to come to a consensus. What was your number one?
I put the food.
You put the food?
I put water purification tablets.
I put water purification tablets as well, because you can survive not eating water, or say you can survive not eating food, as long as you have water, but you can't do the versa, the opposite of that.
Well, that's what I thought so too. Are we wanting to put that as a group?
Sure.
Sure, Tina. Are you okay with that or not okay with that?
I'm okay with that.
That's why I figured the water's most important. Number 2. Tina, you said food was number 1. I said food was number 2. What did you have for number 2?
Number 2. Where is it?
Go ahead, Tina.
Oh, I had the 2 broken fishing poles because I figured the person with the broken leg needed to be fixed up.
Well, I put the whiskey because I figured if nothing else, you use it as for the alcohol to, take care of his leg, and then to help start fixing it up. But
Okay.
Well, I guess it depends if
Cody?
the break's a open or a closed break.
which it doesn't really tell us which one it is.
Nope.
I put matches down as the number 2 because in most of the wildlife scenarios that I see, is creating a fire and keeping people warm, especially because if it's raining and they're wet clothes. Keeping people warm is the next thing, so that way there's no hypothermia or any type of illnesses that are caused by freezing cold. So I put matches as 2.
Okay.
And in my opinion, fishing poles are not going to keep that's not a good enough splint. Because most fishing poles, in my opinion or expertise, are like pretty flimsy, with not a lot of strength. And then I assume that there was no puncture for the broken leg, so I wouldn't use whiskey. And I always think that'd make us easy. It'd make it easier on us if we didn't have any puncture, in my opinion. But
Right.
we
Okay,
could
let me
go
ask-
all out, and be like, look at this man or something, and have a total broken leg with puncture wounds and bones sticking out. So
Let me ask you this question. So, Tina, what would be your best suggestion of what we do? Stay or go find help?
At the 4 days, I'm not going to be out looking for you until probably day number.
Sorry, you broke up there. So, are you suggesting
And
that
somebody
we?
else might have to go hike it out. And send to one person, I would, have, because they didn't suggest anything that you could set the signal up and help kind of education.
Hey, Tina, can you hear us pretty well? Jesse and Cody, are you still there?
yeah, I'm still here.
Yes, I'm here.
I can hear you guys perfectly. It's just Tina that I'm having issues with.
Okay, I wasn't
she's
sure.
one I'm having problems with too.
I wasn't sure
And
if
I-
it was mine.
And I've been hearing you guys intermittently the whole time.
Oh. Let me share a couple things else. First priority to the group is to go for help. However, in order to do that and survive, it's most important to get warm and try to dry out wet clothing and sleeping bags. However, since it has started to drizzle and may rain, there's no assurance that things will get dry soon. So in that case, the party of it's suggesting that we split up into groups. A party of 2 needs to leave quickly in wet clothes and take their wet sleeping bags with them. leaving the others to take care of the one that's hurt.
Agree with that.
I could see that.
So that's what they're saying is the best thing to do. I think, Tina, you said it right. We're not going to be sought after for 4 days, so we might as well do something to help get closer to where they're going to be searching for us. I think that's what you were saying, right?
Yes, and even if you look at the type of food, you're not looking at long-term food stuff. You're looking at more, cheese and salami, okay, but that's not stuff that's going to hold you over for very long. It might get you through 4 days, but it's not going to get you through 5
Yeah.
or 6.
Is Cody?
I would say if we're planning on leaving, then I would say that the compass is number 2 and the map is number 3.
Okay, now let me remind you a couple of these things.
Because if we're not familiar with the area, I mean, we don't want to get lost while trying to find help. But we always want to know like what direction we're going in them and how to get to there. So.
Well, I think you also need to know on the map if you can mark like an approximate location where you're leaving people behind, so that when you find help, they know where to go to. Also,
That is also very important. Yeah.
Okay, does it tell us in this case study who we're traveling with?
No, it just says 4 other people.
yeah.
It's just a group of 5.
Now, I hope the teacher understands this because that's all I got too. But in reading some of the afterthoughts that I was given, we're not traveling by ourselves. There's 2 experts here with us.
Is that stuff we're supposed to know? Like, part of me wonders if, like,
I don't know.
as the
because
group, we don't know that, but you as a leader do. So I wonder if you have more information that at a later time, we go ahead and discuss that. Does that make sense?
Okay, that's where I was wondering. Okay, but point blank, what's the most significant issues facing the group? Question number 1. What's the most issue that we face as a group here? Being outlaws. I'm sorry. You're right. Food and dry clothes, right? Is probably the most in shelter. Food and water. Food, water, and dry and help.
Yep, I'd say that's probably
I
where
would
we
say
would stand.
food, dry clothes.
Oh,
Well, you can.
dry clothes. Sorry.
I know you can survive, easily 3 days without food, just as long as you have water. So food doesn't necessarily have to be top of the list.
Well, I would also like to think that we could catch food. I mean, we do have fishing poles. I mean, there's water.
Whether they're broken or not, I mean, they're still usable.
Well, we have
to a
duct
degree.
tape to fix them.
To a
Right.
degree. Okay, so what's the first actions that need to be taken then?
Get on land, start a fire, purify some water.
And take care of the injured person.
Yeah. At least get them to a point where they're not going to do more damage to themselves.
Right.
So, the busted up canoes, the fishing poles, I mean, there's all kinds of things that could be used to help, and the duct tape, you can, worst comes to worst, duct tape a splint to him.
Correct.
But if it's starting to rain, you've got to have some shelter, because if people get cold and hypothermia, that's not a good.
Now, I'm gathering this the stuff that we have. There's really nothing to build a shelter, in place shelter. Is that an okay consensus to say?
Yeah,
Well,
I'd say the only thing you have is a canoe
you
that you
got
can
the
stick
yeah,
over
you
your
got
head.
the yeah. You could build a lean-to out of them. You've got the parachute cord.
Okay. But anything else would have to find along the way, or find out where, use what's there, or leaves or
Wording that it
branches.
Right.
had to put something.
Okay. I'm greeting there too.
The other thing is if we're going to send somebody out, then we need to get them going as fast as we can.
Okay.
I mean, it's best to send the help off right away.
And the question of who to send out.
Well,
Honestly,
you've told us there's a couple experts, so hopefully one of the experts knows the area well enough that an expert and somebody else could go out as a team, and then everybody else stay behind. Keep one expert there by the and the expert and another person, the other expert, the other person go out and find help.
yeah. Okay. So we went through each of these items on the table. We need to reach a consensus on the rankings. Now, I've shared on my screen. I don't know if it's still up there or not.
It is.
Okay. If you would like access to it, I'd be more than happy to share the Google Doc with it. Would you like to do that? Or does it really matter?
I don't think it matters. Doesn't matter.
Okay, so the first thing we need to try to do is get to land, fire, and get help, and then. Okay. Ooh. The fanny pack. How important is the fanny pack of food, knowing that it's cheese and
Yeah,
salami?
Well, I put 6.
I think we have to turn.
What do you think? Okay, I know most of us said water tablets. Are we going to say that's for number 1 then, or no?
I would say, well,
I still think it is, because if the ones are traveling, they're going to be, even if they come across water 20% of the time because of the lakes, they got to clean it.
right, you got to have clean water.
Second one I do say is the food.
I put food as number 6 because I think there's more important things to worry about right off the bat than the food. So I put,
Like what?
I
Like
agree.
what?
like for instance, I put like duct tape was number 3. Because
Duct tape is number.
Okay, so you say duct tape's up there too then.
right.
Cody?
I put duct tape as number 5, but I mean, and then I have fanny pack as number 7, but those are pretty close because with food, I mean, you can survive 7 days on just water without eating food. But you can, and so you have that, but then also at the same time with the duct tape, I mean, like you said, you can splint someone, you can create a lean-to, you can make lashings and put things together to create a shelter. You can burn it with the matches. You can create rope out of it. So there's a lot of uses. So I mean, my duct tape is in the top 5 definitely.
Okay.
Right.
So would we say duct tape's ahead of the fanny pack then?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. How about after that?
Do you want to, Jason? Do you want to put a document up there and start putting it on there so we can see which ones we already have listed out?
Are you not seeing me do that?
Nope, not all. All we're seeing is just a page.
Just the original sheets that you put up.
Now we see your face. We haven't seen that for a while, so.
Ah, it's an ugly face. Now do you see the
So
one?
it looks like a
Yeah, now we got it.
He's showing the one where there's one on tablets, 2 on duct tape.
Yes.
Okay, what's number 3?
okay.
I have the parachute cord, or the parachute cord is number 4, but
Okay.
in this instance, I'm probably wrong. It's, but that's where I put it.
Cody, you mentioned a top 5. What's in your top 5?
My top 5 are water tablets, matches is number 2, compass is number 3, but I think I changed that now. 4 is the sleeping bags, and then 5 is the duct tape. I think sleeping bags are pretty important because even though they're wet, they still provide some type of cover, as well as you can go ahead and still have heat in them. But I mean, matches are pretty important. Like if we start a fire, even if it start raining, if we have a fire that's going well enough, that'll get us warm and get us heat, as well as we can dry out the wet clothes. We can dry out the sleeping bags. We can cook the fish that we catch, things just like that. So,
Okay. Tina.
my opinion.
Okay. Tina.
Sorry, I got kicked back in. Are we talking about the?
We're trying to figure out what number 3 is, but we're considering what's in the top 5, and that's maybe what we can figure is most important.
I have matches in the top 5.
You have matches in the top 5.
I think that, yeah, it's important if we're gonna send somebody on the map.
Tina. So
The
a map
compass-
map or the matches? Is that what you said?
Well, the matches, it's like I said, the map or the compass would be the top 5 matches too. Because if you got to build a fire to stay warm, you're gonna probably want to divide the matches between who's staying and who's traveling, to, depending on how far out they have to walk.
Well, I would like to think they can do. Well, after 4 days, there's help coming. So you're right. Divide the matches. You probably could. Okay, so what do I put for number 3? Matches, map, compass.
I would probably say the map, especially if we're going to send our people on their way.
Okay.
Yeah, these people are hiking 60 miles in hopefully less than 4 days. That's 15 miles a day. We'll definitely want them to go ahead and know where they're going in the quickest way there possible. Because if they're hiking more than 15 miles a day, they're going to need a way to get them to know where to go.
Okay, now here's my thought. Does the compass go with the map? I would think it would.
You'd
Yeah.
think it would.
Too.
Cody?
Yeah, because the people staying still aren't going to need it.
No, they're not. So my thought, the compass needs to go at or before or right after the map.
I would say right after.
Okay. Then what was number 5, you think? What would be the 5th? What are we missing out of the top 5?
I think the matches are going to be next, so you can divide those between who's staying and who's going.
Okay. Let me ask. Okay.
I agree with the matches as number 5.
Okay. Now 6 through 10 is kind of going to be kind of rough. So let me do this. What is the least? Let's go backwards now. What is the least important?
Well, I assumed we were all Mormon, so I would put whiskey as the last because I don't plan on any of us drinking it. But hey, I'm not going to judge if there's some people have some devils in the closet. So
That's what I put. Whiskey is number 14. That's the least of my worries.
Right.
Also amongst mine was the yellow frisbee.
Yeah, I put the frisbee toward the last as well, because what good is the frisbee going to do you?
The other one was insect repellent. Now, but
Is maybe capturing water. You know, if you had to.
I guess you could use the frisbee to capture water. You could, because the other side of it's a bowl and a dish, so you
It
could
would
eat out of
catch
it.
a lot, but it would catch some.
You could eat out of it. Also amongst my things, the last 5, a set of clothes for 3 that are wet. Clothes on your back are already wet. Why am I going to carry more clothes that are wet? Yes, potentially they could dry out. But if I'm in a hurry that bad and we're going to split up as just 2 of us, I'm sorry.
You have to find some way to hang the. But you only got.
So I would say the set of clothes is going to stay back with whoever's going to stay back, and they can figure how to dry those clothes out.
Right. Yeah, I put clothes as number 12.
Okay, and then I said the broken fishing poles. They're I don't fish in the first place, so let alone give me a broken fishing pole. You haven't got me a tool to teach me to fish. So to me, that's useless.
what about the personal flotation devices, though? Like, I have that as number 10 because, I mean, yeah, they can technically provide warmth to you if they get dried out, but other than that, like, what are they really going to do for you? So I put that as number 10. I have yellow frisbee as 13. Insect repellent is 11 because if it's raining or drizzling, insects aren't out during that type of stuff. And if it changes and it's like that every other day or something, insect repellent isn't really going to be there unless if we're trying to create a fire and just light that on fire. And that's what I put down for like the last 5.
Okay, so whiskey's number 14 then. Yes, it can be used as anesthetic, and it could use you to knock things out. But dang it, it is against the word of wisdom. I'm sorry. The frisbee, wet clothes, and fishing poles, or were they amongst your worst? The least amount of worried about?
Yeah,
I also had the.
I
I
put
had the flotation devices at 11.
Yeah, those at 11. I think Cody, you had them down that low too, didn't you? 11 or 12.
Yes.
Yeah, I put the flotation devices, the clothes, and the frisbee toward the end.
Okay, what's worst, frisbee or the clothes?
I'd say the clothes. Well, I guess if you're going to use it as a dish, but
Because at first I was like,
but I put the frisbee toward the end, so it'd be like 13.
The frisbee's 13.
That's where I put the frisbee.
Yeah.
Okay. And clothes is 12, and the flotation's 11.
That's the way I did them.
Okay, so where are we doing with the food? Is that important or not as important? The fanny pack of food to be sent with them.
Yeah, because they're going to have the hardest part of the journey.
Okay, so let's say number 6 then.
Yeah, that's what I have for the fanny pack was 6.
Okay. How about the fishing poles? Are they going to stay or are they going to go?
I think they need to stay.
I think they stay because you're by the water, so you got a
So
better
that's
chance of.
Okay, so we're saying that's number 10 then. The insect repellent, is that staying or going?
I think fishing poles are more important than insect repellent because you can fix fishing poles and still fish with them. Insect repellent's only going to be good when the insects are out and the weather changes every couple hours. So who really knows how often that would be? So I would actually put insect repellent lower than fishing poles, my opinion. And I can fish and I like fixing things, so I have no issue with that.
Yeah, I'm with you. I can fix the fishing pole.
Okay. Well, I'm okay with flipping it. That's
So the fishing poles are going to be 7 then?
sure.
Yeah, 7's what I originally put the fishing poles at.
Okay, how about the parachute cord? Some of the things that I've used cord as clothesline, keeping food off the ground at nighttime because we aren't in the mountains. Help with shelter.
I had it at 8.
You had it at number 8.
I had the exact same number too, number 8.
Okay. And then the last one is sleeping bags, and we've left out number 9. By default, that's where it goes. Okay, let me read you a couple things. Now, this column D, if you looked here, these experts that are with us, that's what they say. Okay, so while I read it,
bags would be number 9.
that's what I thought so too. I didn't think it was very high. Okay, so what I did is what they want you to do is, okay, so they want us to fill out the individual air, column A. So while the numbers are there, so it's B minus D. So my number 2, I put number 2. The fanny pack is number 2. These experts say it's number 6 on the list. 2 minus 6 is negative 4. Okay?
Oh, okay.
So I need to go do that here in a minute with the group air. So I'm going to take C minus D. 6 minus 6 is going to be 0. 3 minus 3 is 0. 11 minus 2 is 9.
Hey Jason, will you talk so we can see that number again? Or your slide again?
Oh, sorry. My phone just went crazy. I've got like 10 different voicemails or texts.
Oh.
Sometimes it's no fun being in the bishopric. I love my bishop dearly. Okay, so do you see the expert rankings there?
Yeah, I'm just trying to put them on my sheet so I can. Oh.
Okay. Let me see if it stays. Hopefully, you can. Let me read some of these things on the case that I learned. Okay. Okay. So, asking you to record our consensus ranking in column C. Hey, now, I don't know why it doesn't tell us this earlier, because this would be nice to know in the beginning. The background on who we're going with for the expert rankings. These correct answers are based on opinions of two experts, Jeff Stimmerman and Ken Geiskes of REI Outfitters, both of whom act as guides for canoe trips to the Boundary Waters region. That's who we're with. We're actually with a company. And that's who's leading us and guiding us, these two people from REI. Experts agree that the best course of action of the group was to repair one of the canoes and send the two most experienced and least injured people to paddle to the road and go to Grand Marais for help, because as a search party would not leave for at least 5 days and might not find the group for a couple more days, which this would cause severe hardship on the group, particularly the one with the broken leg. Food is way down, and there's a minimal protection from the rain and cold. Since the tent and tarps are lost, cold and rainy weather at this time of the year is life-threatening, so the group must get help as soon as possible. It is estimated the group of two will move faster than if everyone went along, and they could get to help within 1 day. Then a helicopter could be sent to the campsite. So knowing that, I wish I would have known that before I made my assessment. I probably would have chosen a little different.
Right. Definitely.
Definitely.
So to know that they can go, we could send two out, these experts out, and they could get help in 1 day, I probably would have changed and done it just a little differently. We talked about a consensus of what to do, getting to land, establishing a fire, getting the injured person stabilized, and then going for help. First priority of the group, then, is to go for help. However, in order to do this and survive, it's important to get warm, to dry out wet clothing and sleeping bags. However, since it has started to drizzle and may rain, there's no assurance things will get dried out soon. In that case, the party of two needs to leave quickly in wet clothes and take their wet sleeping bags with them.
And we kind of agreed on that.
Yeah, we did.
So if they can get there in 1 day, why do they need the sleeping bags?
I don't know. Just in case they didn't get there in 1 day? Now, it's also to note that if these guys have been here before and they're experts with this area, why do they need a map? Why do they need a compass? If they know which way things are, I would think they could just get over that ridge to the town and they'd be just fine. I would think. But that would have been nice to know beforehand.
If they're experts working the company, where's their satellite phone?
Yeah, that too. Exactly.
And then,
Because I'm not going on a trip with a company if they don't have a satellite phone, just in case it happens. So.
well, that's what's funny, because I've gone on canoe trips and whitewater rafting trips before, and at every stop along the way, there is a phone. Or a CB radio or a ham radio or something that they have to check in at 3 times a day.
Maybe this was before satellite phones, so maybe like 90s or the 1980s, 1990s maybe. So.
Well, that wouldn't surprise me with the case studies at BYU, Idaho.
Well, I've done some horse packing trips, and we didn't have satellite phone, but the Wranglers knew well enough if somebody needed to get out, how to get us out.
Yeah. Not just themselves out, but get the group out.
Get the group out.
Right.
So that's where my consensus was. That I thought we'd need to stay together and either all go or all stay.
Well, when you first look at it, it's like, okay, I've got somebody who's wounded and you're not able to get out. Then you almost have to divide the team in two and send somebody for help. But not knowing that there were experts on the trip, would lead to a different, who do you send? Because you could have people on there who can't read a map, and if they can't read a map or use a compass, I'm not saying them as part of the party that's going to go out
No,
and
neither
bring
am I.
somebody back.
Correct. Nor am I going to send them with instructions of where the rest of the group is. That doesn't work. That's when you send the map and mark the map of where you're at, and then send them. Okay, so let's go through a few things of the group. As the experts say, they say the number one thing is duct tape. This is the most essential thing because it's the only way to repair the canoe. See, and I wouldn't have thought to repair the canoes because to repair it can be used as a to patch up the 10-foot teach and to fix the broken gunwales.
Well, they make it sound like they're not repairable anyway because they're bent in half.
Well, that's what I thought. But that's their first priority is to get out. Other uses for the tape, which they say is essential on such trip, repair the fishing poles. We did talk about that. Or use large sticks to set the temporary splint for the broken bone. Lastly, it can be used to fashion a makeshift pan or to boil water. However, caution must be used to keep the tape far enough away from the flame and not to allow the water to get so hot that the adhesive will melt. I guess I'm not a duct tape expert.
I have never used duct tape for that, so I don't know.
I haven't either.
Okay,
on the next camping trip, we'll have to experiment.
Okay, number 2. It kind of shocks me, but they say their number 2 most thing they would take is the PFDs, the personal flotation.
Well, if you're going down the river in a fixed canoe, I can understand why you'd want that now. But I thought it was mostly walking and not going down the river. But now that I think about it, it makes sense to go down the river. So I can see where personal flotation devices are number 2. But my question in all regards to this is, why not give us that information? Because any score that we get in our individual scores can be based on the information. It's just the 5 of us. So, like, I did my individual scores at 0 compared to what those guys would do because I wasn't planning on leaving. I was planning on staying because that's what most of Boy Scout training and most of the survival stuff I think is in the same place. So I don't understand the point of this exercise with revealing more information about experts. Does that make sense?
Correct, and that's kind of where it's kind of no fair to say that the PFDs are best things to take. I don't think we were given enough information, and maybe that's part of this exercise that we're trying to figure out is, in situations, are we going to know the whole things?
Well,
I don't know.
I mean, we aren't there. We know that they came out of the water, but how far out of the water are they? River that they came down. Could you use the personal flotation device without getting, in a riptide or or into a
Whirlpool
that you couldn't get out of?
I don't know. Now their reasons for taking the flotation devices is different than actually personal safety. It's really not. It says they could be worn as best to keep the torso warm, or to use as sit pages. And I think the spelling on this is kind of rad too. Pillows on wet or cold ground. Right now the clothes are all wet. Even when PFDs are wet, they still provide warmth. So they put that. Number 3, they have the map of the area. Essential for 2 people striking out to get help. It's almost impossible to navigate out of the lakes and to the roads without a map. The plastic coaching also makes useful for makes the map useful as a makeshift umbrella. So that's their shelter in
I would
place.
have to ask, how big is that makeshift umbrella?
Yeah, how big is their map? Obviously, it'd have to be pretty big.
Yeah.
Number 4, they put down as sleeping bags. Important to keep warm, both the paddlers as well as those staying behind. Even though bags are wet, they still provide some warmth since they're synthetic. Yeah, they don't hold synthetic, as far as I understand. Clothes do not hold water very well. It is important to dry them out.
Synthetic, well,
Okay.
sure.
Say that again, Tina.
Synthetics will dry out faster typically.
And that's what they say. It's important to dry them out as soon as possible, though. The bag can be used day or night for warmth.
So would that be like a similar material as like your Under Armour?
Yes.
Okay. Then I can see that how that would be a big plus.
It's not the same as what your socks are.
They're
Right.
not usually like that. They're one typically doesn't hold that much water
Yeah.
because it's a thin sleeve.
Yeah, but it's closer to it than what your socks are going to be. Socks hold water.
Yeah. Socks hold water. They're good at holding water.
Yes, they are.
Okay, they're number 5. We were right on this one, I think. Matches. To start a fire as soon as the drizzle or rain stops and begin drying out the clothes. The extras can be dried out and put on the same time as some people strip down and get into the sleeping bags while their clothes dry. Fires can be started from a plentiful wood pieces in the area. Birch wood is used as fire starter. And this would help to know what type of wood's up there. The first is important for cooking and purposes as well as providing warmth for the group. If the weather is bad and it had not started yet to drizzle and looks like it's going to rain soon, the matches would have been number 3 in order to get clothes and sleeping bags dry, especially for those leaving. I guess I didn't read this case close enough and pay attention and understand the meaning behind what they had. So number 6, food. Though there isn't much, it's still very useful. It must be divided and rationed so it doesn't run out quickly. For those staying behind, it is hoped that within a day, and I think we alluded to this earlier, fish can be caught. However, in the meantime, the food that remains should somehow be protected from the bears.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, number 7 is the clothes. When it stops raining, the extra clothes need to be dried out, and 3 of the remaining set people can wear them. This is supposing that all the people that are the same size are close to it. That's my opinion.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to wear my wife's clothes, and she's not going to wear mine. For one, she's a foot shorter than I am.
I would agree.
Hey, you can roll the leg up. It would be easier for her to put your clothes on than the other way around.
Correct. Her shirt, yeah. This greatly helps chances of survival for keeping dry, increases warmth. Dry clothes are even more important than securing additional food to eat. Would you have believed that?
Yeah, because if you get hypothermia, you're going to end up with bigger problems than not eating.
Okay. Number 8, this is the fishing poles. Once the duct tape is used, the poles should be fitted for fishing in the lake, where northern walleye and lake trout, average 2 to 5 pounds, can be caught and cooked over the fire. A stick can be used as a split to roast the fish or make a makeshift pan from duct tape. Can boil the fish. I'm going to try that next time I go camping.
I've never thought about make a bowl out of duct tape.
Me neither. So next time I go camping, I think we're going to have to check back in and try it.
Make a camel pack out of duct tape. See how well it holds.
Yeah.
Number 9 is the parachute cord. This is many uses as a line to dry clothes, though bushes can be used too. To secure the food to a tree away from the bears, and if duct tape runs out, the cord can be used for splaying the leg and repairing the gunwales on the canoe. In order to do this, you poke the holes near either side of the top and using the jackknife. Well, it didn't say there was a jackknife on it. Would have been nice to know if there's a knife on board.
Right.
Pull the cord through the holes and tie it security. Number 10, I think we alluded to this one too about this point, is the insect repellent.
Yeah.
Right.
But their reasoning, and I'm going to argue the reasoning. I've got an irrigation ditch in my back, and when the temperature is below 80 degrees, it don't matter how much standing water is, there's no mosquitoes. But they say for protection from mosquitoes and black flies, which are both persistent and thick, as well as wood ticks and deer ticks, which often spread Lyme disease. While this group was going down the river, I wouldn't have thought they'd be into the woods. So
Yeah, you wouldn't think they would be that. Well, with the temperature as they describe and the area that they're in, I wouldn't so much think that insect repellent's going to be a big deal.
I could see
Yeah.
the insect. Someone said it before. The insect repellent, but yes, is a fire starter.
Well, yeah, you could definitely use it for that.
It makes a really good blowtorch.
I thought,
Oh, yeah.
Not that I've had any
I
experience
thought-
with that.
that I want to try one night Doritos on fire.
Yeah. Okay. Number 11 surprises me. The water purification tablets. Why didn't they have those up there? That's my question. But they say mildly important because the water in this area is often not purse. I'm not sure what that's supposed to mean. However, the disease to worry about is Giardia, a protozoa in the water, which that's what I thought understood too. It takes 2 weeks to take effect in the body. By that time, everybody should be home, and water can also be boiled. But you really can't boil water in. I guess you can. I'm going to try it in a duct tape pot. Or number 12. We were close on this one. The yellow frisbee. Why is it yellow? What's so important to that? Thought it could be brought for recreation. It actually has some survival value. One is used to heat water in which you carefully over the heat that does not melt the plastic. Fish can be boiled in it as well as hard candies and water to provide a warm liquid for the group. A frisbee can use it to fan the fire through, though blowing on it works too. It can be used as recreation to ease the tension. Number 13. This one I thought would have gone better with the map. Magnetic compass. This is not as important as the other items because the paddlers are well equipped to navigate the lakes with the map.
Guess I wouldn't have thought about that.
Well, we thought we were going down the river, so
Right.
Yep. Number 14. I think we were right on this one. Whiskey. But here's their reasoning behind it. Some may think this is useful for energy or to keep warm. You're gonna
Honestly,
keep
we had
warm. Yeah, you're going to keep warm not because of the whiskey, but because of the lack of effects of it, and then what you're going to cause you to do.
Yeah.
But it actually has the opposite effect. It should be only used as a last resort for pain, broken bone, because alcohol causes dehydration and hypothermia, getting colder. After drinking alcohol, the blood capillaries expand, and initially, the driver feels warm. However, heat is actually being lost, and later there's a sudden feeling of very, very cold.
So, in other words, they're basically saying that the whiskey's useless.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't even worth saving.
Not really. Okay, so that's what the experts call it. So the next question, there's 3 questions that we need to discuss. What was the significance difference between the group rankings and the expert rankings?
I would say some of the items we were close, but we didn't have the information, same information as what was given to us afterwards to make an intelligent, really good decisions. So we took it according to the experience that we all have. So,
Which I think that's what we're going to bring to the business table too, into the professional world, is our experiences.
right.
And if you add up that column E like it says on our paper, I did that, and our group score was 0.
Oh, really?
Because so when you add up all the zeros, 8s, the -1, all that wonderful stuff, our group score was 0. So we didn't really have much.
I see. I didn't add it up yet, so you're saying that's 0. Okay.
Yeah, I sat here and added up.
Okay. Now, let me ask you, there's what, share with us, Cody or Jesse, what one thing was the most drastic difference?
Between me or between me and the group? Or sorry, between the group and the experts or me and the experts?
What does it say here? Sorry.
That's okay. What's it doing? The group ranking and expert ranking. Oh, okay.
Well, according to the group, I would say the flotation devices were our group's biggest difference.
Okay.
I would agree with that too. Just because I don't know, we didn't think there was any uses because people were just going down.
That is a difference too. Oh, wait a minute.
The other one that I could see was a big difference is the water tablets.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was -10. We might have been off. Hang on, I just saw that.
That one too. I know for me
that one
on
was
my
the compass.
I don't know, and then also
I was
the
going to
compass.
say,
Like if you figure you're going traveling, you might as well take the compass. That way you know where you're going. But with the experts, because they know where they're going, they didn't need it. But we didn't know there was experts, so we assumed that you would need it, so that way you know where you're going.
and like you said, Cody, with all the the scouting experience that we have, we would have took the compass with us anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we've been taught.
Yeah,
You take the compass, you take the map.
it's true.
I made a math error. Of course, -1.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, -1.
I put in Excel and I
I
got
put-
-10, but we're not allowed to have negative numbers, so it rounds up to 0 anyway.
Uh,
I got -6 when I added that up.
did I miss something then? Because I had, for the group error code, I had 0, 0, 8.
Well,
What?
didn't we put the flotation as number 11? So 11 minus
Yeah,
2 is 9. 11 minus 2 is 9.
Had the water
Water purification is 1 minus 11 is negative
1.
10.
Okay.
So it's C minus. It's column
It's
C
10.
minus column D.
Right. -11 is 10. I actually put my, oops, that's not right.
Mm-hmm. Hold on, let me bring up. What's the answer here?
Like I said, I put it in Excel and did some formulas, and Excel figured it all out for me. And it says the group score, if I add up all the numbers in column E, it comes out to be -10. But I could be wrong.
I don't know how -10.
I got -5. 0, 0,
Okay,
9.
so then
What's
yeah,
6 minus 6 is 0. 3 minus 3 is 0. 11 minus 2 is 9.
9. Okay.
7 minus 8 is negative 1. 12 minus 7 is 5. 13 minus 12 is 1. 1 minus 11 is negative 10. 2 minus 1 is 1. 14 minus 14 is 0. 10 minus 10 is 0. 5 minus 5 is 0. 8 minus 9 is negative 1. And 4 minus 13 is negative 9.
Wait a minute. It sounds like we got minus 9. Okay.
We have sleeping bags as 9.
Oh, sleeping bags is 9?
Yeah. Which is right there on your screen.
Oh, not okay. So 9 minus 4 is
5. And then I redid it and I got 5. I got 0 this time from Excel. I
5.
Apologies.
no. So
Yeah,
did I. I left that
That's
off.
what I got was 5. I mean, sorry, I got 0 on there too.
Good thing this is a math class. Just gotta say.
It's
I'm
0.
kidding.
So the group score we got is 0. Okay, back to the expert rankings. What's one that you had that was very similar, significantly similar?
Oh, we can say the whiskey.
Yes, whiskey is very similar.
Sorry, that was just too easy to put out there.
The fanny packs were the same.
Yes.
Matches were the same. Insect repellent was the same.
On the group ranking food, the covered map,
Yeah, like map.
we were right on with them on those.
The duct tape we thought was pretty close too.
Yeah, I think let's see, duct tape. Yeah, we were just one off from them. We rated it 3, or we rated it 2, and they said it was number 1.
Yeah. Okay. What do we glean from this experience? I guess that's what we're really wanting. What are we learning from this?
Well, I think if we were actually,
sorry.
yeah, if we were actually out there, part of the group, we'd have made different decisions.
So how do we do that coming together?
Well, I think if we just focus on our group, I think we made appropriate decisions and like appropriate things, like based upon what the 4 of us knew. So the 5th person is some guy that we just assume has our same level. But now that we know there's experts out there that have more training and stuff, then I think that takes a totally different highlight. But I think as a group, I would feel fairly confident in, not that I say I want to do this, but going on a canoeing trip and, some type of survival, at least surviving out in there if the 4 of us weren't going. Does that make sense? Like, we'd be able to agree on certain things. And I think that was, if we look at this activity as that is, we can agree on things. We can come together and decide what is important without much, fighting or backbiting or, oh, is that guy really right? Is she really right? Type of thing. Does that make sense? So
It does.
Yeah, I think that no matter how diverse our ideas may be, it's not too hard to find common ground.
No, it's not. Okay, the next part, it says, ask each of the group members to final their table scores, including the individual group and persuasion scores at the bottom of the table. So let's go ahead and do that really quick. And this is where we're going to be a little different, is because column F, let's fill that one out, is going to be column B minus column C. So it's what you thought individually minus what we thought collectively as a group. Okay?
See, I came out with 0 for mine.
What did you?
Yeah, my final was a 0.
Yeah,
Mine
mine
was
was
2.
0 as well.
Matter of fact, what's interesting is all of my scores all turned out to be 0.
Really?
Same here.
Yes.
I'm with Jesse.
I
All mine
ended
were
up with
0.
individual errors -1.
Let me see
And
what mine is really quick.
if I remember right, if you have any negatives, you have to count it as 0. Because you can't have a negative if for a final count, if I remember reading that right.
I don't remember that, so you may be right. I don't know.
It's right underneath the stuff we're reading right now. Like, if you literally just look down, you'll see it.
Just do a 7.
It just says individual scores total the numbers in columns 8.
I wonder here if it's going to explain what these numbers mean to us. And I got, okay. All subtracted cash guys should be recorded in absolute value, meaning no negative numbers. Record the positive results on your table. It says, ask students for their individual scores. And I think this is what we have to turn in also here shortly. So I think we're all going to need this. See, there's Cody. Yes.
I use means we're going to use the number without the negative signs. Add that up.
So I didn't have any negatives in the final, so.
Right.
So does that mean if it
0s? So
okay? So Cody,
Right.
what was your? Let's see. Individual scores. Cody, what's your individual score?
0.
Jesse.
Mine was 0.
Tina.
We're using absolute numbers. I got to take the negatives out. I got to re-add.
Well, do you take that? No.
Well, no, the final number can't be a negative after you add it all up.
So you add all your negatives together, and what do you?
Okay, then it's 1.
1.
1. Well, when I add it all together with my error, am I going to be a 0?
So you added up, and you got, what did you get, Tina?
When I added up using the numbers I had, I ended up with -1.
But I take it absolute, so you actually got 1. Okay, so my individual score was 2.
Yeah.
So the average, if we add them together, you got 3 divided by 4. Average is 0.75. Is the average. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Make a note of this number. So remember 0.75. Also note the best member score. Okay, now what does it mean the best? Highest or lowest?
Yours because you had the highest score.
What does that mean though?
You had the highest score.
Is that good or bad? Okay, so Jason myself has the highest. Now, and then the lowest then would be Cody, Silas, and Jesse have the lowest. Okay, now this is gonna now I don't know if I want to answer this question. It says ask the group member with the best member score for their persuasion score. This is called the member's persuasive score. So that my answer to that question is my persuasive score was 0.
Interesting.
Okay.
So was mine.
Mine was 0 as well.
And mine was also 0.
Okay. The next one is decide if your group had process gain. If your group score was lower than the average member score, then you did have process gain. If it was higher, then you did not. Does that make sense? Did as a group did we have process gain? If
Not according to the number we came up with, because it's 0.
What
what's our group score?
0. And then the average member score was 0.75. So we did have process gain.
That's true. We did. It's because it was 0.75. So we had a little bit.
So if this is a yes or no, then yes. Right?
Yes.
Well, what's process gain?
No, I don't know. That's just how it figures. Maybe we'll figure out here shortly.
Because I Googled it and it came up with spectrum stuff.
Yeah. So I'm not sure in the reading or where it says it all. And then it says note, the last one is important, report your group's results, questions 8 through 11, which question 8 is to finalize your thing, record the positive results in the table, ask the students for the individual scores, note the best member score or the lowest individual score. But no, okay, hold on. Let me ask you this question. Also, number 10, it says, also note the best member score or the lowest individual score. So is a 0 better or 2 better?
I'd rather have 2
Well, I assume
than 0 or something.
Slower than 2.
Yeah, I would say 2 is obviously better.
Okay, now let me think of this. You know, if you believe, okay, the whiskey was 14th on the list. If we had them all correctly, we added them together, the best answer is 0.
Oh, yeah.
If we think of it that way.
That's true, I guess.
So if you're off positive or negative, so if we have it completely backwards and whiskey is the most important thing and I'm going to take it with me, my score already is 14. Well, 13.
It's true.
Okay, so that's backwards. I have the lowest score. Cody and Jesse, you have the best score.
Yeah.
Am I reading that?
Golf is my favorite sport, you know.
Well, with the way that you put that, then yes, that would be true.
I don't understand.
That's interesting.
I don't understand. I don't understand how they're doing this, or like what does the scores mean, or like what's the best thing. But I understand your reasoning, saying we
Well,
matched everything up, everything's 0. So
let me share this with you. Let me share the screen and what I see. And I thought you actually guys got to see this too. So let me reshare this screen.
holding out. I see. Joking.
Oh, I don't want to hear it.
Like,
Okay, so well, that's a little big. Okay, so did anybody else have this group discussion agenda that they had access to?
I have
Yes.
it.
yeah, it was just.
Now, did you have it before I showed you this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so all this number 6 introduced the expert, and the answers were you already had those then, right?
Yeah, but I didn't look at it because I
Oh.
only did what the column was supposed to do, and then and then when we started doing the group discussion, this is when I pulled it up, and I just read the first few questions. I didn't actually go through the
Okay.
entire thing. So
Okay, so this 8 through 10 is 8 through 11 is what we're going to report back, is what we need to email the tier post back. So also note the best number score. I think the best score that you want is 0. Because if you actually thought like the expert, you would have a 0 there.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Now, what it means, I have no idea. This personal gain and persuasion score.
it means that Jesse and I are experts.
So is that fair to say that with my persuasion score being -3? Or no, my persuasion or 0? So okay, so I'm gonna make this assumption. As an individual, I scored 2. So I'm only gonna succeed as a group then. Right? Because as a group we scored 0. And I have lousy persuasion skills. Persuasive skills.
Except for you just totally persuaded us to change our way of thinking about numbers. So
Yeah, I'm not sure you can claim that.
But in adding it up, the best score is 0.
I think so. From from the way that they show the professionals, I think you're right.
Now, I'm really not sure what we're supposed to get out of this lesson. I really don't.
I don't either. So we're in the same boat there.
Okay. I don't know how long we're sitting at, but I think, and if there's any questions.
yeah, who wants to come to Idaho with Jesse and me and go canoeing?
There you go. In the next week or two, it'll be about the right temperature.
It's cold here. It's
Same.
cold here.
Yeah, it's starting to cool off here. We're supposed to be in the 80s this weekend.
Yeah, we're going to be in the 40s the rest of this week.
This last night, all my pumpkins and strawberries and tomatoes all froze.
Holy wow!
Canoeing. So.
I bet you I lost about 50 pounds of tomatoes.
Wow.
Ooh, I'm sorry to hear that.
It's just all the salt that I could have had.
Right.
Okay, well, if that's the no, I'm going to stop broadcasting and we'll see what happens.
Sounds like a plan.